A Sunday Kind of Love. The sky was a heavy, bruised purple, leaking a steady, cold rain that tapped rhythmically against the windowpane. Inside, the thermometer read 30 degrees, a sharp contrast to the warmth radiating from the kitchen where coffee was brewing. Fatima sat in her specialized wheelchair by the glass, her eyes fixed on the silver droplets racing down the surface. On her lap, Figaro, a plush gray tabby cat with a penchant for morning snuggles, stretched his paws, his purring a low, steady hum that Fatima could feel against her legs. Today wasn't just any rainy Sunday, today was movie day. Preparation was a choreographed dance that the family knew by heart. Gulsen, Fatima's mother, moved with a grace born of 24 years of practiced care. She knelt before Fatima, gently guiding her arms into the sleeves of a thick, fleece-lined coat. "We're going to see the animals today, Fatima," Gulsen whispered, her voice a soothing melody. She tucked a soft, wool blanket around Fatima's knees, ensuring every corner was snug against the biting chill waiting outside. Fatima's eyes brightened, a soft sound escaping her throat, a small, joyful note in their shared language. Levent, Fatima's father, pulled the van around to the front, the headlights cutting through the gray mist. He stepped out into the cold, his breath forming small clouds in the air, and lowered the mechanical ramp. With steady, strong hands, he navigated Fatima's wheelchair toward the door. The transition from the warm house to the brisk 30-degree air caused Fatima to gasp, but Levent was quick to lean down, shielding her from the wind with his own body as they reached the ramp. "Steady as she goes, my girl," he said with a wink. The cinema lobby was a sensory explosion of buttery popcorn, neon lights, and the muffled sounds of distant laughter. As they entered, the sudden change in environment sparked a surge of electricity through Fatima. Her excitement manifested in a rhythmic back-and-forth swaying. To an outsider, the rocking might have seemed unusual, but to Gulsen and Levent, it was the clearest shout of, "I'm so happy," they could ever hear. Gulsen wiped a stray drop of rain from Fatima's cheek, matching her daughter's wide, sparkling grin. While Gulsen went to find their spot in the accessible seating area, Levent stayed with Fatima to get the essentials. He held a massive bucket of popcorn in one arm, while his other hand remained firmly on the handle of Fatima's chair. Fatima's rocking intensified as she saw the colorful poster for Zootopia 2 inches near the concession stand. She let out a series of high-pitched, melodic vocalizations, her body thrumming with anticipation. Levent laughed, tapping the side of the popcorn bucket. "I know, I'm excited for the bunny and the fox too." Navigating a crowded theater required a mix of patience and assertiveness. Gulsen and Levent moved like a well-oiled machine, one clearing a path through the throngs of moviegoers while the other steered Fatima with precision. They ignored the occasional curious stare, focused entirely on the mission at hand. They found the designated wheelchair space, which offered a perfect, unobstructed view of the massive screen. Gulsen settled into the seat next to Fatima, taking her hand and giving it a reassuring squeeze as the lights began to dim. As the opening credits of Zootopia 2 inches rolled, the theater transformed into a world of vibrant colors and booming music. The light from the screen danced across Fatima's face, reflecting in her wide, unblinking eyes. She was captivated by the fast-moving animation and the expressive characters. Gulsen watched Fatima more than she watched the movie, her heart swelling at the way Fatima's fingers drummed against the armrest of her chair in time with the upbeat soundtrack. In this dark, magical room, the challenges of the daily routine faded into the background. Halfway through the film, a particularly funny scene involving a slow-moving sloth had the entire audience roaring. Fatima's laughter was a unique, staccato sound that cut through the darkness, pure and unfiltered. Levent leaned over from her other side, sharing a handful of popcorn with her, making sure she got the crunchiest pieces. He leaned his head close to hers, whispering a joke about the characters on screen. Even though Fatima couldn't reply with words, the way she leaned her head toward him told him everything he needed to know. When the lights finally came up and the credits began to crawl, the family took a moment to just sit in the glow of the experience. The rainy world outside felt far away. As they made their way back to the exit, Gulsen and Levent shared a quiet look of triumph. It wasn't always easy to coordinate these outings, the weather, the physical exertion, the sensory management. But seeing the radiance in Fatima's expression made every effort trivial. They stepped back out into the 30-degree dampness, but the chill couldn't touch the warmth they carried. Back at home, the evening settled in with a peaceful finality. Fatima was back in her favorite spot, the wool blanket still draped over her legs, though she was now moved into her comfortable recliner. Figaro, sensing the return of his favorite human, immediately jumped up to claim his spot on her lap. Fatima's eyes were heavy, her rocking now a slow, sleepy sway. Gulsen and Levent sat nearby, watching the rain continue to fall, grateful for the simple, profound joy of a Sunday spent together. It was a day of barriers broken and love celebrated, one frame at a time.